Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a presentation all about scams, things that they're around us every day, all day long, and they're only getting more sophisticated, I think pretty much day by day. So let me share my screen with you, and we're going to get started, and we're going to talk about today, actually, the scams that are targeted towards seniors, which is unfortunately a big part of some of these companies' business. Here we go. So today, this is what we're talking about, is how can we help our seniors, if it's your family member, to help them avoid scams. Good afternoon. My name is Olga St Pierre. A lot of you know me, have seen me present for quite a few years. It is truly my pleasure to be able to take the information that we see every day in the news and social media and internet and to break it down and make it more manageable so that way it applies to you and applies to all of us on a daily basis right here in our community. It's more relevant to what we have going on in our community. We have been helping our clients as part of our real estate practice move across the United States and Canada for the last 15 years. And we especially love working with seniors and baby boomer generations, a silver generation, and helping them and their families to make this move, because as you can imagine, when you are starting your golden years or you're already there, you're talking about making a move from a home that you've been in potentially for 30 or 40 years. And our team mission is to help you make that move as easy and stress-free as possible. And we'll stay with you alongside your life's journey and help you make your transitions and living well in your home as great and as stress-free as possible. We do offer a complete move solution. And from start to finish, whenever you decide that it's time for you to make a move for whatever your reasons are, we help you go through and get everything situated and have a complete action plan ready for you. Part of that is also our concierge service. If you're not even ready to make a move yet, but you probably need some kind of renovations, because as you know, when you're a homeowner, I think it's a never-ending list of things that we always need to do. I know for me, I have a running list of things that I need to do on the house, and I think it's getting longer instead of getting smaller. So our concierge service is your virtual yellow pages. Think of us as from start to finish, from A to Z. If you're looking for contractor recommendations, for other professionals, for an accountant, an attorney, depending on whatever it is on your mind, what kind of plans you're trying to make, we're here to help you with our recommendations of somebody that we use personally or other clients have used personally and can recommend as well. So please don't hesitate to reach out. So let's jump in and talk about scams and why is it such a huge and scary industry? What are some of the facts that I want to share with you to kind of be mindful and aware? Different types of scams, how you can avoid becoming a victim. And I want to give you resources to help you if this is something that happened to you or someone you know, so that way you can share this information with them. And as always, I always have some kind of recommendation suggestions on what to do next if this is something that is of concern to you. So that's the game plan for the next 45 minutes or so. So some facts, and some of these are really scary. Financial fraud is costing a lot of us about $45 billion annually. That's in billions, not millions. So it's a huge industry for some people. For some people, this is their business, as scary as it sounds for us, regular folks. 80% of the telemarketing scam victims are targeted to be over the age of 60 and older. And that is the scariest fact. And this is why I'm so vigilant about when we're working with our clients to help them understand and be mindful about what they see on a regular basis. The reason why seniors are targeted is because of their unease and fear regarding computers, technology, and of course, scammers prey on that fear and that anxiety. Today, more than ever, the scams are becoming more and more sophisticated and smarter. And I see it every day on my own phone and on my own computer. I'm definitely mindful about it. Many cases do go unreported because there's just so many of them, and there are not a lot and not enough resources to deal with all of these things. And telemarketers may keep track of the numbers for the people that they're tricking and trade those numbers around other large networks, which is scary. This way they say, you know what, maybe if you've been tricked once, maybe someone else is going to have the opportunity to do it again and have a repeat business is what this looks like. So let's jump in and talk about different types of scams. And I even have some examples for you. And I can tell you that on my cell phone, I get this random crap all the time, and I started deleting them because they're just so, they're disturbing because, and they're of course right there when you're looking at your phone. If you look at the bottom right-hand side, there's just random phone number that just shows up and it says, I'm here. Right. And you're looking at the phone, you say, who are you and where are you? Right. And what they do is they prey on you and hope that it sparks your curiosity, and you're going to respond back and say, oh, and who is this and where are you? And then they can start a conversation with whatever it is that they have planned. So don't get tricked in this. Normal, regular human beings, if they're trying to reach you and they know you don't know who they are, they'll tell you who they are when they're sending you a text message or they're leaving you a voicemail. This is John Smith, and I'm calling you because you have delivery, or whatever it may be. This way you have a name to put together with a phone number. So the most popular ones are going to be no face-to-face interaction. And that's what I want you to keep in mind. It's going to be email. It's going to be mail. It's going to be a phone number because it's hard to trace. There is no face to put, right? There's no recognition to make. And that's how they prey, because they just hope that they pique your interest, or maybe they catch you at one of those times where you're like, oh, well, this is interesting, okay? So that's what you will see. The example is a phone number just pops up, and then an email that pops up that just has you're a Powerball winner, your lottery winner, you have inheritance coming. They can really be really crazy. And what I find interesting too is that they're starting to send you these messages and reach out to you from local phone numbers, so that way you feel more comfortable, right? So just be mindful about it. So there's IRS con, where there's people that are going to call you or email you, and they will ask for personal information. They're going to threaten a fine, all of those things. And my suggestion to you is hang up immediately. You really don't need to provide any information, especially your personal information, like asking you for social security number. They will never ask you that on the phone. So which means that most likely it's a scam. So I want you to pause for a second before you start providing information and think before this happens. Okay, missed jury duty. Impersonators are going to pretend that they're government officials. I can guarantee you that government will never call you. Most of the time, the communication that happens when a government agency needs to reach you is going to be through mail. Absolutely through mail. You get robocalls. I get them all the time. Just hang up. One of the scary ones that I have seen people encounter is like fake accidents, fake kidnapping, calls from grandkids in trouble. And this is where, again, my recommendation to you is just pause for a second, stop, or hang up, because you have that number. You can go back to it and call your family and check on them first before you make any decisions. Fake charities, contributions, solicitations, people will call all the time where they're trying to collect money. And it could be that they're legitimate, but it's just, you can't make a decision about this company if they're just calling you out of the blue on the phone. Text messages, never respond or click on any links. And sometimes they're going to give you that engagement line, like we see on the right. So it's best if you don't even respond if you don't recognize the phone number. And you know what sometimes they'll say too is type in stop to be removed from our list. So I used to do that because technically that is the legal way of getting yourself removed from their list. But at the same time, what I recently found out is that if you do that, They're also going to say, oh, this is the right number for this person. And she actually responded. She saw a text message. It could be actually a red flag for me, but a green flag for them. So the recommendation is not even respond to those requests to be removed from the list. So I found that interesting as well. Next, let's get into the software scams, where sometimes you get a pop-up on your computer, and that pop-up can be really scary, where it says, oh, you have a virus on your computer, you need to download this program, will help you get it all cleaned up and removed, and everything will be fine. So don't download anything, especially if it's a random pop-up and you don't even know where it's coming from. They're going to ask you for remote access. You might get some kind of calls or pop-ups from Apple or Microsoft because they want to make it look like it's legitimate. So if it's coming from the company that maybe you know well, like Apple, because you use Apple products, or Microsoft or Dell, one of those, and it's going to give you that red flag of, oh, I have a serious issue with my computer, and look, Microsoft is reaching out to me, must be legitimate. Again, stop for a second and think about it. Those companies will never reach out to you directly or first. If there's an issue on your computer, you usually call them or reach out by email to their technical support, not the other way around. Email, oh, I can probably talk about an hour on just the email scams and the variety and the color of the different things that people come up with. I do have to give them a check mark for creativity, that's for sure. But at the same time, that's just how dangerous it is. You're winning lottery, they're asking you to help with the PayPal. I had some of my colleagues email me and they're asking me, hey, can you step over and get me a gift card because I want to make a gift for somebody. It's just crazy. Here are some of the examples that I have seen, and I've had some of my clients forward to me so that way I can share it with all of you. Look, for example, subject line, Sam's Club. Everybody knows Sam's Club, and they're telling you that you have been selected and you have won a gift card or a shopping spree. And what I want you to pay attention is to a couple of things. First of all, always look to where the email is originating from. Where does it say Sam's Club? And look at that email. What the heck is QWE Federation SAS? That's not Sam's Club. This is some random person that is trying to prey on you. And the same thing when you look at the subject line, this is all really tricky. And if you look at the actual something else, if you can see, this is just a scam artist email that is just crazy, right? And also if it says, oh, congratulations, you won a Sam's Club reward, but yet the email is from Gmail. Gmail is a private email. It's not samsclub.com, which is what you would expect. And look, the same thing here. It's Walmart card. And look at the email. It's Walmart at walmartsup.com. So that should also give you a clue as to where it's coming from, that most likely it is going to be a scam. So take a look at the originating email and take a look and see if it actually looks like it's an actual legitimate email. And if you're not sure, go on Sam's Club or go on Walmart and you'll see that any kind of correspondence that's going to be coming from them that's going to be legitimate is most likely going to have a walmart.com of some sort of address. Oh, and if you thought this was it, we're going to keep going. There's lots of different things. And internet browser pop-ups, we already mentioned them a little bit, and you can see here is an example too. And it's going to tell you, congratulations, this is not a joke. Would you like to accept? Don't ever click on yes, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to then, with yes, you are accepting them putting something on your computer so that way they have access to all of that information. So I just want you to be very careful about that. Okay, don't click anywhere, don't click on anything, just close the browser out completely. And then my suggestion to you would be to even just turn off the computer and maybe restart it just to be on the safe page. Medicare and health insurance scams, because they know that this is an important subject for you. I've seen things, not only just that, but also Social Security scams, because it's another big part of your life if you're already retired. They can impersonate a Medicare representative that is calling you to let you know maybe the change to your plan, or especially if it's in the fall when the open enrollment is, they can call you and say, we're here to help you. And as soon as they start asking you for your personal information or offering you services, please hang up, because then you know it's not legitimate. And again, let me reiterate to you that a government official from any government agency is never going to call you. Most of their correspondence is done through mail. Okay, so just be careful about that. Mail-in and then in-person scams. I see this all the time, and you know what too? This affects people of all ages, especially if you just became a homeowner, as an example, and you did get a mortgage on your home. I can guarantee you, and this is what I tell all of my clients when they purchase a home, a few weeks after the transaction, you're going to start get mail envelopes in your mailbox that talk about the fact that you need to get a certified copy of your deed. You also need to get insurance on your mortgage. All of those things are scams, because your mortgage is already insured, so you're good with your lender, and you already have a copy of your deed, and you already paid to get the original, and you will get that in the mail after it gets recorded. So I always warn people, if you get some shady things that pertain to your mortgage, you can always call me, because that's what I do. It's part of my real estate practice, and then I can look at the information, and I already know when they call me what it is that they're calling about. But if it's something else, just read it, think about it, don't act on it until you have the opportunity to do the research. For seniors, the reverse mortgage unfortunately gets a really bad reputation, because so many seniors were taken advantage of by the bogus companies. But I can tell you that reverse mortgage is a good option for some seniors. And I do have recommendations for reverse mortgage specialists who specialize in strictly that and helping seniors stay in their home. So it is a legitimate program. It's not for everyone, yet it can be a great benefit for somebody. So do let me know if this is something you may want to take advantage of. And this is where, again, asking for advice from someone that you know, asking for recommendations from people that you know is your best course of action, instead of going online and just picking somebody out of the blue. Offers of property tax reassessments. You can have fake contractors that are going to be going door to door offering fix-it services. And you know what too? They could be legitimate. If they're doing the work in the neighborhood, they want to get more business, they will go and door knock. And if that's the case, ask them for their ID. Ask them for their contractor's license number. If they're legitimate, they will have no reasons to be afraid, or to not answer your questions, or to not show you the information that you are requesting. Funeral and cemetery scams. This is scary again. This is where the scammers are preying on the sensitive subject, on the time where you are grieving and maybe you're not going to be as alert. So just be careful. And if you're going to be working with a funeral home and a team of people, do trust only them. And if there's any questions or you see something suspicious, you can always reach out to them and ask them questions before taking action or something. Fake work from home jobs. This is something that we are seeing more and more, unfortunately, since COVID, because we see quite a few remote jobs. So be careful, especially if you are in your golden years and maybe you want to get some extra money going, right? If you don't want to just be retired all the time and you want to do something fun, just keep an eye out on, make sure that the company looks legitimate, do some research, verify everything. And then just be careful, right? Do some research before, especially if they're offering you really a lot of money and it sounds too good to be true. There's a good possibility that it is. Package tracking, text scams. I've gotten things before where they're saying it's a FedEx or UPS or United States Post Office, Postal Services links. And you can always see if it's real or not. You'll be able to see it because it's just a weird address. So again, take a look, be vigilant, research and then before you're making a decision. So now let's talk about how we're going to protect ourselves. I already mentioned quite a few things where you take a breather, you take a break, you ask others. And let's just go through some of the ones that maybe I did not mention to you. Don't answer the phone for a number that you don't recognize. If it's an important message, maybe it's a doctor's office that's calling you, you don't have that office programmed into your phone, they will leave you a message or they will send you a text message. Hang up if the caller uses an unprofessional or broken language. That's also another cue. Tech companies do not monitor millions of computers in use today, so they're not going to call you. Block solicitations. You can actually opt out of commercial mail solicitations if you go to optoutprescreen.com and also request to be put on the do not call list. Now, I do want to warn you that even though you may be on that do not call list, expect to get phone calls anyway. Not everybody follows the rules. Double check on everything, call your family. Just triple checks on the messages and say, hey, I just got a message and it looks like it was from you. Did you actually send it to me? And that way, and then you can act upon that message. Do your research online. Search the name of the company, search something else, and then you can use words like review, complaint, or scam, and then see what pops up. Don't make any upfront payments. Do not deposit anybody's strange checks where you're trying to help somebody out and do them a favor. Don't wire money. Don't send gift cards because you'll never see that money. Be skeptical about free trial offers. Again, research the company ahead of time, see what kind of reputation they have, and then read the associated reviews. That would also give you a good clue. And of course, you know what? Trust your gut. You will recognize that and say, you know what, this does not feel right. I'm not sure about this one. Okay. Check your smartphone settings and modify your privacy options and enable call blocking features. So this is something you can do to protect yourself. And if you're not sure how to do that, ask someone who is more techie. And what I can tell you is that my kids and probably your grandkids are going to be more tech advanced than a lot of us. And if you ask them to help with some of these, modifying some of these settings on your phone, I am sure that they're going to be able to help you. Don't call the phone numbers that are listed in weird kind of format. Like if everything is caps, so they're including some kind of weird grammar or it's weird punctuation. If somebody does not take the time to just have some basics of grammar punctuation, there is a possibility that it's going to be a scam as well. Here's some other suggestions for you that I have if you want to take it one step further and actually get some kind of systems in place to help you and protect yourself. There are Complete ID is a program that you can purchase. If you're a member of Costco, there are some discounts. You can sign up to actually be notified if there are new scams. And I don't know if I want to know more because there's just so many of them, but if you want to be vigilant and mindful, this is a good website to go on and kind of take a look at things. Use a multi-factor authentication when it's available on websites. What that means is when you log in, it's going to send you a code to your phone or your email that you have to verify. And then there's some kind of other second verification. And I can tell you that I think sometimes people feel that it's just annoying or it's too much work or you have to wait for that code. And I get it. Yet at the same time, think of it this way. If you take that one extra step, it's going to be there to help you and protect you. So in my opinion, a lot of the times, those extra steps are definitely worth it to use. Next up, creating a basic list of phone numbers that you are probably going to get a phone call from. So if you get a new doctor that you know you're going to be visiting on a regular basis, make sure to add their phone number to your phone. This way you know exactly who is going to be calling you. So, and take the time and write down in the notebook the phone numbers of the people or the companies or the agencies that may give you a call, whether it's your bank, police, adult protection services, your doctors, your maybe your attorney, your accountant. So think about the people that are important to you in your life besides your family and friends, and add those numbers as well. So that way you're not, when that number calls, you'll be like, oh, it's my accountant calling me because he probably has some questions about my taxes that he's working on. Okay. If you think it's a scam, if that is the first thought that pops into your mind, give it a second, but trust your intuition. Most of the time, that first gut feeling is going to be a good one and it's going to protect you. Make copies of your IDs, credit cards, and passport. I think that is super important, especially if you're traveling. If you're going somewhere where you're in the big city and there's pickpockets, I do both. So I have copies of the documents and I also take pictures of them with my phone. And I have a folder in my phone that's called important. And that's where I put all of those things. Because if you do become a victim of pickpocketing and you lose that information, you can quickly call your credit card and freeze it. You have the information that you need to be able to get a replacement passport or replacement ID. And before making any donations, if contributing to charities is important to you, I do recommend that you verify the charities and you check them out to see if they're truly what they say they are at this website called charitynavigator.com. So if you have been a victim of a scam, or if you know someone who has been, don't be embarrassed because it happens to quite a few people. And here's a list of resources for you that either you can use yourself, or if you know someone else that is in this position, is to forward to them. I still remember a couple of years back, I think it was in 2021, I actually had a seller who was a victim of a identity theft. And she was a senior. And I can tell you that it was a very challenging process for us to help her sell her house because she had so much distrust for everyone that she didn't know because of her experience of the identity theft. They stole all of her personal information. They took money out of one of her accounts before she realized what happened. And it was just such a stressful situation for her. And she was afraid to go outside. She was afraid to leave her house. So helping someone like that in that situation, and you know what too, she had no kids and she didn't know a lot of people. So she didn't know who to turn to help her to stop it or to figure it out. So, and unfortunately, the attorney that she did hire wasn't very helpful, but of course took quite a bit of money out of her. So I completely understand how stressful it can be. So here's a list of services depending on where you are located to help you and at least have an opportunity to talk to someone. If you don't want to leave, there are some phone numbers and of course resources on internet as well that are available. Most of them are from our local and state government. And I will send this information to you so that way you have it as part of your notebook. So that's what I have to share with you today. Scams, we are constantly updating this workbook because the scams are just becoming more and more sophisticated. And you know what, too? I had a conversation yesterday with a group we were talking about artificial intelligence, right? So AI is coming. It's been around, but I think it's became more prominent in the last couple of years, like ChatGPT. And it's nerve-wracking to me to know what kind of scams people are going to come up with. It's not a question of if they are, it's a question of when it's going to happen, where they're going to use artificial intelligence to scam people as well. So it's nerve-wracking, but hopefully there's going to be, of course, some kind of protection put in place to help us. So if you have any questions, or if you want to share with me some of the scams that maybe you came across, I'm always happy to take them down so that way I can share it at our next workshop. If you are looking to get some free senior resources, we always have them available, and you can find them at our senior resource library that is listed here. So you'll get that. It's a part of your workbook. There's checklists, there's a home safety assessment, room plans, and other things that I think are important for you to have. And of course, this workshop is being recorded and you can find it living on our YouTube channel at Home with Olga, along with other webinar recordings as well. So that's what I have to share with you today. And I appreciate you that you joined. Let me just stop recording.